What is going on, guys? It is Parker here, and today we're going to be taking a look at the new, or at least newish, updated version of the American Bass XR. This is, of course, a dual 2-ohm version, and yeah, we're going to be putting this thing through the works. Stay tuned. So we got 142.8 at 37 hertz, and then we got 1423 watts. Alright guys, so yeah, a bunch of y'all have been asking me to pick up the new American Bass XR. Now when I say new, they updated this version sometime in the last year or so. So, very cool. American Bass really updated their entire line, so that is awesome. Now I did a review on the American Bass XFL. You should go check that out. But a bunch of people were asking me to pick up the XR and see how it compares to the XFL. So we definitely will be going into that at the end of this video, so stay tuned for that. So it's pretty cold today, so I'm just filming in my garage. Let's start out looking at the box. Of course, very cool looking box, as you would expect. This is the XR12D2, so dual 2-ohm voice coil. And over here, we have all the main specs. RMS power is 1200 watts. The max power is 2400 watts. It does have a stitched rubber surround, a fiberglass reinforced cap, which is pretty cool. We'll get into that. Now it says dual 2-ohm 3-inch aluminum voice coil. However, it definitely has a copper voice coil. Do not know why they said that. And then we have a 200-ounce magnet, and then PVC gasket ring and magnet boot. We'll take a quick look at the specs sheet. Yeah, so it still says aluminum voice coil. Really don't know why it says that, because it's definitely a copper coil. We'll look at that here in a minute. Now it probably has an aluminum former, but yeah, not sure why they said that. But just some more specs. It says FO, but it means FS is 35 hertz. Sensitivity is 89 dB. Frequency range is 35 hertz to 500 hertz. Magnet 200 ounce, as we said. And then, of course, we have the mounting depth, cutout diameter. Alright, guys, so let's just take a look at this sub. Now, you're not going to be able to tell in the video, but this thing is a massive-looking sub. But yeah, let's get a kind of a quick look at what we got going on here. Very cool. They have both voice coils on one side, just to make it more easy to hook up. Something cool. Not a whole lot of companies do that. So yeah, to start out with, we of course have our cone. Now it is a paper cone, but it does have a full flat dust, kind of dust cap / top sheet over it that is fiberglass. So that's very cool. It gives it some incredible rigidity. Like, you cannot flex that thing whatsoever. And then we have a nice kind of fat looking smooth surround on that. Looks really cool. Should be able to let this thing get nice and low and sound awesome. Of course, I have the little American Bass emblem right there. And then it says American Bass, AmericanBass.com, right here on the gasket. We'll slide around to here. We have a very cool cast aluminum basket with kind of a rough texture finish to it. Really like the basket. Again, new and updated for this version of the XR. We have at least 2 spiders. There's one like right under here that sits on there, and then there's one up here. And then moving over to here, we have our inputs, of course, all right on the front. So you can really easily just run them in series or parallel. And then, you probably all can't see, I'll show you all in a minute, the tinsel leads. This does only have 1 round tinsel lead per coil. That being said, they look beefy, decently beefy enough, but that would probably be my only complaint I've really seen. And then down here at the bottom, big old 200-ounce motor. There's a double stack. But yeah, just look at that thing. Real nice looking bottom plate here. This thing is just huge. Very massive. We do have pole venting around the ends, and then we do have venting up here. It has a little mesh thing there, just so no junk can get in there. So that's pretty cool. But yeah, guys, this thing looks really, really awesome. I'm really excited. This is definitely the biggest sub I've had in quite a while. Guys, the camera does not make the motor look nearly as big as it does in person. I don't know how to really describe it to you, but yeah. Just kind of get a quick look up at everything. yeah, overall, this is a really awesome looking sub. Cannot wait to get this and start playing it and see how it sounds. Just a quick comparison so you can just kind of see how big this thing is. Of course, this is the Sundown Audio SA Rev 3. I do have a video of that, of course. But y'all can see right there, like, just how huge this motor is. And it's a lot taller, sub 2. Everything about it is just big and beefy. Okay, so just for specs wise, let's talk about this compared to the American Bass XFL. Now, unfortunately, I sold the XFL that I had, so I can't really show them here. If I get 10,000 views on this video in the first week, I will go buy another American Bass XFL and make a head-to-head comparison video of them, since they are, really similar priced and similar sized subs. If y'all want to help me get those views, liking and commenting just helps boost the video, and so more people will see it and view it. Again, I'm going to go over all the main differences here. Of course, starting at the top, this has a wider and a smooth surround on it, and it has a very stiff and a different top up here. Now, in my opinion, I haven't heard it yet, but from what just by looking at it and from what I've read and heard online, this thing seems to be a little bit more geared towards quality of sound, whereas the XFL was more geared towards SPL. So I see this thing getting a little bit lower and just sounding a little bit better overall. But whereas the XFL was meant to take more power and get louder. I believe the XFL had a longer basket to allow for some extra excursion. It had direct leads instead of the push terminal leads. And then it also had 2 positives and negatives per coil, whereas this just has 1 per coil. And then it had a 220 ounce motor, whereas this has a 200 ounce motor. So, which is better? Again, I think it depends on what you want. Of course, we're going to get this in the Jeep and test it out and see how it sounds, so y'all can see for yourselves what you think is better. And I might even throw up a video of the XFL playing, just so you can kind of see the differences. I'm going to go ahead and throw this thing in the car. Not going to film that. It's too cold outside to really set up the camera. But yeah, let's get this thing in there and see how it sounds. Alright guys, we got it in the box and have been letting it break in for a while. We have the SMD AMM1 hooked up, so we can read the real RMS power as we were playing and make sure we're not clipping. So yeah, let's get right into it. Okay.
So as y'all can see, guys, this thing is doing it really, really well. This sub loves this bigger box. This box is about 2.7 cubic feet, tuned to 32 hertz, and it is just loving it. As you can see on the meter, we are staying above 1,000, 1,200 to even higher continuously, and it's doing just fine. So that is awesome. Super, super pumped on this sub. It sounds really, really good. It really hits just all the different notes the way I really like it to, guys. This thing is awesome. It sounds so good. Alright guys, so we have the SPL meter hooked up in the kick. We're going to be starting out with a 35 hertz test tone. Just going to see what we can get. So 142. It looks like we did about 929 watts. Okay, let's try 40 hertz and see what we get there. So at 40 hertz, we got 141.3. And there we got up to about 1,435 watts. And alright guys, we also are going to try 37 hertz and just see what we get there. So we got 142.8 at 37 hertz. And then we got 1,423 watts, and we rose to about 2.6 ohms. Alright guys, so there you have it. As you saw, this sub loved this bigger box. It sounded so good. Never once mechanically maxed it out. It loved the box. As you can see, we were doing burps as high as above 1,400 watts. And I'm sure it could take, much, much more. For Project Sequoia, I do have a bigger amp coming in. It should be in today, actually, I believe. And then I'm just waiting for wire and some other stuff to come in before we really start getting onto that build. But yeah, guys, you all saw it. We made some pretty good dB readings. Again, this box is tuned to 32 hertz. Now, if I was to shorten my port and tune it to like 45 hertz, I'm sure we would get much higher readings. But anyway, guys, let me know what y'all think. I think it sounded awesome. Again, it's been a while since I've had the XFL, so it's hard to say with 100% certainty. But I do believe, overall, this sub did just sound a little bit better. It did seem to hit the lows a little bit better and just sound a little cleaner kind of throughout. Which, again, is really the point, I believe, of this sub, is just to take a lot of power and sound really good for everyday bumping. Whereas the XFL is geared a little bit more towards the SPL. That being said, I still love the XFL. That is still probably my favorite sub, but just barely. I do really think that for a daily sub, this guy right here is perfect. Now guys, this thing is only like $180. I don't know how American Base does it, but that is absolutely crazy. You saw how beefy that thing was, and you saw how much power it was taking, no problem. Again, in those videos, for every song, we were staying 800 to 1200 watts very consistently for an extended period of time. So yeah, guys, without clipping, like, these things can really handle some power. Anyway, guys, let me know what you think. Would you pick up this, or would you pick up the American Base XFL, and why? Do remember, if I get 10,000 views on this video in the first week, I will buy the XFL, another XFL, and do a comparison video of them head-to-head. But yeah, I really tried to go over everything in this video, though, in case that doesn't happen. There will be a link in the description to where you can pick this up. That is an affiliate link. So if you purchase it through that link, it really helps out the channel, which is great, because then I get more money to spend on more stuff to review for y'all. None of this is sponsored. I don't get any deals or discounts or anything, guys. I buy all these for full price, no strings attached. Means there's no pressure for me to not give a completely 100% honest review for y'all. Anyway, guys, thank you all so much for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe. As always, more videos coming soon.